You ever wonder why some people just seem to build wealth like it's second nature, while others, maybe even you, are working incredibly hard but just can't seem to get ahead? Well, it turns out the secret isn't just about grinding it out. Nope. It's about a fundamental shift in how you think about money. And that one shift, it can change absolutely everything.
Yeah, that probably hits close to home for a lot of us, right? It's that classic feeling, like you're on a hamster wheel. You're working day in, day out, but that feeling of real financial freedom, it just always seems out of reach. So to really get why this happens, and more importantly, how to break the cycle, we're gonna dive into some of the powerful lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay, so the foundation of this whole idea, it comes from a really simple but kind of brilliant story. The author, Robert Kiyosaki, he had two father figures in his life growing up. And get this, each one gave him completely opposite advice about money. It's this contrast that really sets the stage for, well, everything else. So here's where you see the two paths laid out clear as day. On one side, you've got Poor Dad. Now, this was a highly educated guy who preached that traditional script we all know so well. Go to school, get good grades, find a safe, secure job. But then you have Rich Dad. He was all about something different, financial intelligence. Actually understanding how money works and then using that knowledge to own the things that make you money. And this is the crucial point. This wasn't a story of one guy being lazy and the other being a hard worker. No way. Both of these dads were dedicated. They both put in the hours. The only thing that was different, the one variable that changed the entire outcome, was their mindset about money. It wasn't about the effort. It was all about the philosophy behind that effort.
So that brings us right to the big trap that so many people fall into. And honestly, most don't even realize it's happening. It's this belief that just working harder is the key to getting wealthy. But that idea, it's fundamentally a myth. The book has a name for this trap, and it's perfect: the rat race. It's such a powerful metaphor for this endless loop, right? You earn money, which is great, but then life happens. Bills pile up, expenses come out of nowhere. Maybe you get a new car or a bigger house. And suddenly you've taken on more debt, which means, you guessed it, you have to work even harder just to keep your head above water. Okay, let's break that down a bit. So you get a job, you earn a paycheck. Awesome. But then almost immediately that money is flying out the door to pay for your rent or mortgage, your car, all your bills. And here's the crazy part. You get a raise at work and you think, finally. But instead of building wealth, your expenses just kind of magically expand to eat up that new income. That's not freedom. That's just a faster hamster wheel. Which really makes you wonder, right? I mean, it's a totally fair question. If this is such a common trap, why on earth aren't we taught how to escape it? Why are so many smart, highly educated people still stuck in this exact same cycle?
Well, the problem is kind of systemic. Think about it. Our schools are basically designed to create great employees, not great investors. We learn all about how to do a job so we can earn a paycheck, but nobody teaches us what to do with that paycheck once we get it. And that crucial piece of the puzzle, financial literacy, is left almost entirely up to us to figure out on our own.
But the rat race isn't just about the numbers and the mechanics of it all. To really understand why we stay stuck, we've got to look deeper at the powerful emotional engine that's really driving the whole thing.
And that engine runs on one thing: fear. Fear is the fuel that keeps that rat race going. It's the fear of not being able to pay the bills, right? That's what makes you cling to a steady paycheck, even if you hate the job. It's the fear of losing money that stops you dead in your tracks when you think about investing. And it's the fear of failure that keeps you from ever starting that business or trying something new.
Yeah, when you boil it all down, it comes to this one simple, powerful truth. Fear is calling the shots. Fear dictates our choices. It's what makes us choose the so-called safety of a job we might absolutely hate over the scary uncertainty of building something for ourselves.
All right, so if fear and the rat race are the problem, then changing how we think has to be the solution. It means we have to consciously, intentionally adopt the kind of mindset that actually leads to financial freedom. So, what's the alternative? If that old model is totally broken, what does the new one even look like? What's the fundamental shift we need to make? Okay, this is it. This is probably the single most important mindset shift you can possibly make. See, most people think, I work for money. The job is the goal. But the wealthy, they have a completely different mindset. They think money works for me. They see money as a tool, almost like an employee. Their focus is on building and buying assets, things that generate income, so that their money is out there working for them 24/7 even when they're sleeping. And let's be super clear, this isn't about getting lucky or inheriting a ton of cash, not at all. It's about a commitment to learning. The rich actively go out and learn the skills they need. Investing, basic accounting, how markets work, all the stuff that allows them to put their money to work effectively. So what about that fear we were just talking about? Well, here's the cool part. The wealthy mindset doesn't get rid of fear. Nobody's fearless, but it reframes it. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, you use it. The fear of being stuck in a dead-end job forever, that becomes your motivation to learn everything you can about real estate. The fear of losing money in the market, that becomes your motivation to study it even deeper, to get smarter. So after all this, the most important question isn't really about what Robert Kiyosaki's dads did. It's about what you can do starting right now. And the first step is just to take an honest look at your own beliefs about money. Which brings us back to such a critical idea. Nobody is going to just hand you this knowledge on a silver platter. Your financial future is 100% your responsibility. And look, that isn't meant to be intimidating. It's meant to be empowering. It means you hold the key. And just to be crystal clear, this is not some get-rich-quick scheme, not even close. This is a get-smart plan. The real goal here isn't to make $1 million overnight. It's to build a deep, real, lasting understanding of how money actually works so that you can make smart decisions for the rest of your life. At the end of the day, it all comes down to learning. You don't have to become a financial wizard overnight. Just ask yourself this one simple question. What is one small skill? Maybe it's learning how to read a company's basic financial statement, or understanding the basics of a real estate deal, or just figuring out what an index fund is. So let me kick things off with a question that might just shake things up a bit. Think about your biggest, most prized possession. You know what I'm talking about. What if that thing, the thing you think of as your greatest asset, is actually a liability? Seriously, what if it's holding you back? Just hang on to that thought for a minute.
Okay, so where do we even start? It all boils down to one super simple but incredibly powerful idea. This is the bedrock, the absolute foundation of financial intelligence. You've got to know the difference between an asset and a liability.
So let's make this dead simple. An asset, it's anything that puts money into your pocket. That's it. Think of it like a little money tree in your backyard. It's working for you, generating cash day in and day out. And on the flip side, you've got a liability. And yeah, you guessed it. That's anything that takes money out of your pocket. It's a money vacuum, constantly sucking cash away from you. And it sounds almost too simple, right? But believe me, this is where so many people get it wrong. And this right here, this is the fork in the road. It's a huge difference in how people operate. The rich mindset, it's all about buying assets first, period. But the common mindset, well, that's about buying liabilities, that new car, the fancy watch, and trying to convince yourself they're assets. And that one little difference in behavior, it literally shapes your entire financial life. All right, moving on to the next big idea. This one's a doozy because it goes against everything we're taught. We think a high income is the golden ticket, right? The key to being wealthy. But what if I told you that your income isn't your wealth? Not even close. I mean, just take a look at this. It lays it all out. That salary bar, it's massive. Looks great, doesn't it? But then, whoosh, look at that taxes and expenses bar right next to it. It just eats almost all of it up. And what's left over for wealth? It's this tiny, tiny little sliver. This is the trap, right here. A bigger paycheck often just means bigger bills. It doesn't mean you're actually getting wealthier. And this quote right here, it absolutely nails it. What you keep matters more than what you earn. It's not about that big, flashy number you bring in. It's about what's left in your hand after everyone else. The tax man, the landlord, the credit card companies has taken their piece. That's the money you can actually put to work. That's what builds real wealth. Okay, now we're getting into the really juicy stuff. Because once you understand this, it's like having a superpower. See, not everyone is playing the same game with the same rules, especially when it comes to taxes. Let me show you what I mean. Just look at the order of operations here. It's so important. If you're an employee, the path is 1, you earn money, 2, you pay taxes immediately, and 3, you get to spend whatever's left. But now look at the path for a business owner. 1, they earn money, 2, they get to spend and invest that money, and then step 3, they pay taxes on what's left over. The sequence is completely flipped. And understanding how to legally use that to your advantage, it's an absolute game changer.
So you're probably thinking, okay, how do I actually navigate all this? Well, here's the secret. It's not about starting with a pile of cash. It's about investing in and building up your single greatest asset, and that's your own financial intelligence.
Think about it like this. The wealthy mindset sees learning as a never-ending journey. They are always studying, always asking questions, always looking for new opportunities. Learning doesn't stop when you leave school. But the other mindset, it hits a point of comfort and just stops. And honestly, the second you think you know everything about money is the exact second you start to lose.
Okay, and for our final point, this might be the most important one of all. It's about the internal conversation you have with yourself. The words you use, the questions you ask, they can either slam the door shut on opportunity or blow it wide open.
Just listen to this phrase for a second. I can't afford it. Hear that? It's a statement. It's final. It's a dead end. When you say that, you're literally telling your brain to shut down, to stop looking for solutions. It's a creativity killer. But what if we just change one little word? What if instead we ask, how can I afford it? See the difference? That's a question. It's an open door. It forces your brain to switch on, to get creative, to start problem solving. That tiny little shift in language from a statement to a question, well, it changes absolutely everything.
So when you put it all together, what's the real takeaway here? It's that building wealth isn't some accident. It's not about luck. It all comes down to choice, the small, conscious decisions you make day after day.
And let's be clear, these choices, they're not just about piling up more cash for the sake of it. The real prize, the ultimate goal, is freedom. The freedom to decide how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and what you want to do with your one precious life. When you really get these ideas, you make a fundamental shift. You go from being a servant to money to becoming its master. You stop trading your time for it and you start putting your money to work for you. That right there is how you take control of your future.
So I'm going to leave you with one final question to really think about. Take an honest look at your own life, your own finances, and ask yourself, is your money working for you? Or are you just working for it?